Joshua's Dream, A Journey to the Land of Israel by Sheila Segal, illustrated by Joel Iskowitz. Tell me again about Great Aunt Rivka, Joshua said to his mother. One of his favorite stories was about his grandfather's sister who went to Israel as a young woman to help make the desert bloom. Joshua thought that was amazing. His mother took the old family photograph album about out of the cabinet and pulled some big picture books about Israel off the shelf. Joshua climbed up on the sofa next to her. Once upon a time, but not very long ago, she always began as she opened one of the books. The land of Israel had so many sandy deserts, murky swamps, and rocky hills that hardly had any trees, flowers, or food could grow there. And that made it very hard for people to live there. For a long time, the Jews who lived in the land of Israel had very little food or money, but they loved their homeland so much that they stayed, they worked hard, and they prayed for better lives. Almost 100 years ago, many Jews who lived in Europe, the United States, and other countries held a big meeting. They decided to do everything they could to make Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, a better place for Jews to live. They called themselves Zionists because in the Bible, Zion was another name for the land of Israel. Many Zionists, like Aunt Rivka, packed up and went to Israel to help make that dream come true. But how could they make things grow in the desert? Joshua asked. Well, it took a lot of new ideas, a lot of courage, and a lot of hard work, his mother said. Many people did not believe that it was possible, but before long, the Zionist settlers began to make miracles happen. They brought water to the desert through new pipes and sprinklers so that orange trees could grow in the sandy earth. They drained the swamps and planted seeds so that animals could graze on new grass. They blasted away rocks so that date palms and almond trees and flowers could grow along hillsides. And they built a city by the sea on dunes of sand. Look up dunes. See what that is. Let your teacher know. And Aunt Rivka did some of those things right, Mom, Joshua said proudly. She sure did, his mother said. Aunt Rivka was brave and strong, and she believed in her dreams. So in 1906, when she was only 20 years old, she went to Israel to help start a tiny farming village. There she slept in a tent and worked all day in the hot sun, digging, clearing, painting, and watering until she saw her dreams begin to come true. Orange trees growing in the desert, children playing in their shade and eating their fruit. As the years passed, Aunt Rivka's village grew, and Israel became a strong country with more people and more trees each year. In Israel today, Jews are still moving to the desert wilderness and the rocky hills to make them bloom with new trees, to build new villages full of people. One day, Joshua thought, I'm also going to help build Israel with my own hands, like Aunt Rivka. Joshua spent a lot of time looking at the books about Israel. He paid special attention to pictures of people working in the desert so that when the time came, he could make sure to bring everything he needed: a hat to shade him from the hot sun, work shorts, sturdy shoes, a canteen for drinking water, and of course, a good shovel for digging and planting. Why do you think Joshua needed those things? That's right. He needed the water to stay hydrated because if he's in the desert, it's extremely hot and his body would need to cool down and stay hydrated. The hat would be to protect him from the sun. Absolutely. Then one day his mother surprised him. Pack up your gear, she said. We'll all be off to Israel next week. How do you think Joshua felt? That's right, he was excited. You can look at his face and tell. Joshua was thrilled. Now he could see himself standing in the desert with sand all around him, digging up the earth with his own tools, setting a little tree into the ground with his own hands. And that's just what he did. One hot and windy morning in June, Joshua stood at the edge of a small forest right in the middle of the Negev desert. The forest was only 3 years old, but already there were 1,000 trees. Many of them were very tall. The forester who guards the forest and takes care of the trees gave Joshua a tiny Jerusalem pine tree. We grow the trees in our nursery for almost 1 year, the forester told Joshua, until they are strong enough to be brought outside. This one is just ready for planting, and here's a good spot. Joshua put his hands around the little tree, the smallest tree he had ever seen. He held it proudly for a few moments, then gently he put it down beside him. With his shovel, he dug a hole in the dry and rocky soil. Next, he carefully set the little tree into the hole he had made for it. The tree wobbled in the wind as Joshua scooped up the soil with a shovel and placed some of it around the roots. Then, with his hands, he piled more and more sand around the base and patted it down until the little tree stood steadily against the wind, ready to live and grow in the outdoors. I did it! He laughed as he jumped to his feet. This little tree will grow in the desert, and I planted it. It really was his dream come true, his own part in building the land of Israel. And he knew even then that one day he would come back to do much more. From that time on, whenever his mother took out the family album and the pictures books to tell the story about Aunt Rivka and the builders of Israel, Joshua also was a part of it. But his own story was just beginning. This is a picture of Joshua Siegel at age 4 planting his first tree in Israel. Boys and girls, your dreams can come true. Take time, make memories, make plans. You can do it. Have a great night.